Okay, the advantage of winter carry can be quite comfortable, even with a full-size Glock and a little Ruger LCP or a revolver. And I'm going to show you how I do it. First of all, what we have is two 30-round magazines for the 10 millimeter, plus three 15-round magazines, one for the chamber. For the Ruger LCP, we got 6 rounds plus one for the chamber. So if you do the math on that, you'll find out that it's over 100 rounds of firepower. And I'll carry the Glock 20 and the Ruger LCP, or I'll switch from the Ruger LCP to the revolver open carry with 6 rounds right here, but still have the Glock 20. So I'll always have the Glock 20 with me. So anyway, the Ruger LCP, let's just look at real quick. I cleared these weapons for you, so I wouldn't have to do it with one hand. But we're just going to double check here, and they are clear. Revolver cylinder is open. Take a peek down there, it's safe. So anyway, like I was saying, is the Glock 20 now is going to be carried cross draw inside the jacket. And it's not going to have a round in the chamber. The reason why is because the only time I'm going to carry with a round in the chamber with the Glock 20 is if I have it holstered on a good strong belt and something protecting the trigger. The Ruger LCP will be open carried, and it'll be put in this little holster right here. So it's very tiny, and when it's in the holster here on my belt, it's very low profile. And if I was going somewhere where I needed to tuck it away or whatever, where part of my jacket was up too high or something, and I felt like I didn't want to expose the Ruger LCP, I could just throw it in a pocket holster. So I always have a pocket holster. I always have this open carry holster on my hip at all times, on my belt. So what I want to show you is how I carry this stuff. So the Glock 20, I carry it right here, and a lot of people are saying it's kind of sloppy and it droops a little, but actually it doesn't. Once the Glock is inside here, if I close this or have it unzipped, it does have a lot of support against my body. So it's not going to fall out, and I have tested it to make sure it won't fall out. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put an additional holster in here and then put the Glock 20 in there. But usually what I'll do is I'll put the Glock 20 in there. Like I said, there's not going to be a round in the chamber for that one. So what's really going to be effective for me is that first gun, the Ruger LCP or the revolver, to get me to a situation where I can then chamber a round in the Glock 20. And actually coming out of the jacket, pressing forward, when my left hand doesn't overhand on the slide, it's like one fluid motion. So racking around in the Glock 20 when you press out with your right hand is like one fluid motion chambering around. Is it slower? Yes, but it's not that much slower. So as you're punching forward, this hand right here racks the slide as you're continuing punching forward. You don't stop. You just keep punching forward, and then your left hand meets it on the way, chambering around. So I feel very comfortable carrying this Glock around with me, this full-size Glock 20, because of the simple fact is I can carry it in my jacket. I don't need to worry about covering the trigger or anything like that. It's safe. You know, my conscience, it's safe. And like I said, these are my primary fighting weapons to get me to cover so that I can use this. So these are very fast draw. They're very, very short, and they're very lightning fast to draw from the hip on a good belt. And usually when I have my belt, I don't have that much to flip up here to get to the weapon. So this works great. So people are wondering, where do I carry these two 30-round magazines? One in each side of my pants on the front pocket. They lay down in the front pocket, and the front pocket seam ends right about here, so they don't really see any of the bullets. So I got one on each side to counterbalance. These three counterbalance the Glock 20, which is which is right here on the right side. So what I do with these, or not these three, but I'll carry one with the Glock on the right side. And then 2 magazines right here will counterbalance the Glock that's on this side. So I've got 2 15-round magazines. I've got 1 Glock with 15 rounds, none in the chamber. And then my pants or jeans down here, I have 1 of the each 30 rounds. So that gives me quite a bit of firepower here. And like I said, if I'm carrying, I'm going to decide between the Ruger LCP and the revolver. I'm not going to carry both. Now the revolver is 6 shots. So I'll have 6 of these. Winchester right here. These are subsonic Winchester lead hollow points. They're not a jacketed type bullet. These are only, oh my gosh, maybe 48 or 50 foot-pounds. So once again, shot placement is the most important thing, no matter what caliber. You just want to make sure that you make your proper shot placement and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do for you now is we're going to do a little counting here and find out how much we have. So we got 60 here, 15, 15, 15. So we got, see, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100, 105, 106, 107, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 113. Okay, so we have 113. And if we have the revolver instead of the Ruger LCP, then I think we have 112. So we have over 100 rounds of ammunition. And the majority of that is the 10 millimeter. A 10 millimeter flat nose like this would be the majority of the rounds that I'll have, 180 grain. But I'll usually have in the weapon itself maybe a few hollow points. And then if I want to switch mags to hard cast or full metal jacket, I can, depending on the situation that I'm in. So in other words, I can comfortably carry, if we were going to leave the revolver out of this picture here, I can sit down, I can walk around, I can do things, I can open my jacket comfortably without dropping anything, without anybody hardly even seeing that I have all this. I can do all that concealed so that nobody even knows that I have it on me. So this is the great thing about having a state like Minnesota that has colder weather, is because you have to put on a jacket. It's cold outside. So that gives you a lot of options. And I would get a better jacket with a side pocket here. But there's ways to modify it to get it to work. But I'm just saying the majority of the Glock stuff is all going to be carried in the jacket. For instance, the Glock 20 15-round magazine, 2 15-round magazines here. And then the pants part. The pants part is going to be open carry, Ruger LCP, with this magazine inserted in. And then in the pants front pocket, 1 each on each side is going to be 130 round stick. And if I feel that it isn't too bad for me as far as weight. If I feel that the weight is too bad, sometimes I could always just take these away, and even all 3 of these magazines for the Glock, or not all 3, but these 4, and just have 1 in the Glock, and that would reduce the weight. So the thing is that if I'm doing this all the time, and let's say one day I don't feel like it, it's no big deal, because I'll still have the Ruger LCP on me at all times. I'll still have the revolver on me at all times. And I'll still have the Glock 20 with me at all times. Now, summer is a different thing. In summer, typically what I'm going to do in the summer is I'll have something like this, because it's so low profile that if I take the Ruger LCP out, it's going to flatten again like this, and it's very low profile. So it doesn't even look like a holster, and I'll pocket carry the Ruger LCP. And I'll carry lots of ammo for the Ruger LCP, summer carry. or if I decide to carry the Glock, it's always going to be open carry. Open with the shirt, no matter how hot it is, it's always going to be sticking out in a holster for the public to see. So I'm never going to carry this waistband inside the waistband or appendix or anything like that. It's just too big of a gun to do that with. But it's not too big of a gun to throw in a jacket here, like on the side right here. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at a person that's carrying a Glock 20 with 650, probably 650 foot-pounds for these ones. 650 foot-pounds of energy times, what is that, 106 or 100 and whatever, on me at all times in the winter. That's simply amazing. That's a lot of firepower. And the thing is that as far as Minneapolis St. Paul news, we're finding out that street gangs and stuff, a lot of them are carrying Glocks, and they have these things that make the sears, auto sears. Yeah, they throw them in the back like an auto sear to make them fully auto, which is completely against the law. But they have them, and then they probably have these big sticks right here. And this information I'm getting from the news and law enforcement. So I know that that's going on. And the thing is that why should a citizen be helpless to defend themselves against something like that? If something does happen, I don't have an auto sear because I leave the guns the way I buy them. I don't modify anything. But if somebody has an auto sear, I want to make sure that I have enough to get help. Even if I do call the police and I try to let them solve the problem, if I'm being carjacked or something happens, I can take my little pistols and get part of the job done, and then I can transition over to something like this, the big sticks. Now the big sticks, and two of these I might leave in the car at times. So leaving these in the car, depending on the situation that I'm in. But most of the time, I don't have to leave these in the car. Most of the time, what's going to happen is, this Glock is going to be inside my jacket. This is going to be in my front pocket right here on my jacket. And these two big sticks are going to be in my pants, one on each side. And then open carry, I'm going to have the Ruger LCP, or open carry, I'm going to have a Ruger LCRX 1 7/8 inch barrel. This is a 22 Magnum 6-shot. I'm going to have that in a holster like this, open carry, on my hip. So these two are hips. And like I was saying, if I ever wanted to transition where I thought that this wasn't enough to cover, and I was doing something where I was bending over a lot, then maybe what I'll do is the days that I'm carrying the Ruger LCP or this, what I could do is I could pocket carry with this right here. And then also I carry in my jean pocket, I carry a holster all the time for the Ruger LCP. So no matter what, I can change the way I carry at moment's notice. So on demand, like they call it. So I can change my carry options on demand with total comfort. And like I'm saying, with this jacket now and everything I'm carrying, and the mags in my jeans and open carry, I can bend over, I can sit down, I can drive my car, I can have my jacket open, and nobody notices hardly anything. Somebody may notice a little bit of these two 30-round mags popping out of my pants a little bit. But like I was saying, a lot of times there's only going to be a little bit of this showing right here. So anyway, I like to keep everything legal as far as local, state, and federal laws. I do believe that in this country we need to vote people in that can give us laws that give us the most freedom. But until then, it's good that you obey your local magazine laws and stuff like that. If you're only allowed a 10-round mag, people, you got to stick with that. I know it sucks, but you have to abide by them laws. So, but anyway, thank you very much for watching, you guys.